welcome to my channel today. Today we are going to be making something sweet. I am in the mood for some kind of a delicious dessert. Now, a couple of days ago, I did some meal prep, so tonight I'm going to be having my Moroccan chicken and rice. No work whatsoever. I'm just going to leave it out for a couple of hours and then put it in the refrigerator. And then when it's time to eat later, I'm just going to throw them in the oven. But I also want to have dessert later tonight. So let's see what we're having. So I have some rhubarb that was from last summer. This rhubarb, I know it's green with just a little bit of pink, but this stuff freezes up so well and it is so delicious. It's nutritious, it's good for you, has a ton of fiber in it. So anyway, we're gonna make a strawberry-rhubarb chia pudding. It's gonna be healthy and delicious. So I'm gonna put the whole recipe in my description below. But this recipe, I'm gonna cut it in half because this serves so many people. It's like a ridiculous amount. It's like 12 to 14 servings. And I mean, it's just my husband and I. There's no way we could eat all that. So this is 3 cups of rhubarb. So I'm gonna take about 1/3 of it out and I'm gonna put the rest in my little cooking thing here, and I can save this in a plastic bag for a little something another night. Now I'm going to cook this rhubarb up with 1/2 cup of water, and we just want that to be cooked down so that it's a really soft consistency. Now mine's frozen. Normally fresh rhubarb would take about 5 minutes, so mine might take a little bit longer, but I'll bring you back and show you what it's going to look like as soon as it's ready to go. So as you can see, my rhubarb is completely defrosted. Now I'm gonna cook it down a little bit more. All this is rhubarb and water. And I just want this to kind of fall apart a little bit. I want it a little bit more broken up. And I'll show you exactly what that looks like in just a few minutes. So now that our rhubarb is cooked, we're gonna add a couple things to it. And then all we're gonna do is refrigerate it for like 10 to 12 hours. For me, that's gonna be like 6 o'clock tonight. Instead of having a creamy, I'm gonna have this. And it's not an email, it's an S. So it's gonna be a satisfying meal. All right, so I'm gonna have everything linked in my description below. But let me just say one thing. This is gonna call for some strawberry jello, some sugar-free. Now they tell you to put in a specific xylitol strawberry jello. I don't have that. If you want to follow theirs a little bit more closely, you could use an unflavored gelatin and add xylitol. But let me be honest with you about something. I have lost 39 pounds as of Friday on this diet since last June. So it's been about 6.5, almost 7 months. And I think that's a really good time frame to lose weight. I've been changing a lot of my eating habits. But I'm not legalistic about this diet. If you want to follow it to the T, you go right ahead. But I found that I can substitute some things and I do just fine. I prefer Monkfruit sweetener over their Gentle Sweet. Theirs is more like the xylitol and the stevia. I'm not a fan of stevia, although I do use it occasionally. I really like Monkfruit. Today I actually had some xylitol, so I'm going to use it to kind of keep it as close as I can to this, but I am gonna use just regular old sugar-free strawberry jello, and it'll come out just great. So let me show you how much you're gonna need. This rhubarb, this is about the consistency I want. It's kind of like a chunky baby food. So I'm gonna add a box of strawberry jello. Now, mine's the sugar-free, it's 0.88 ounces, and I'm gonna also put in the xylitol, which for them is gonna be like their Gentle Sweet sweetener. I'm putting in some of that, and then I'm gonna give that a stir. I just wanna stir in the jello mainly. Now look at how the color changes. It doesn't really matter that I don't have that bright red rhubarb. My green rhubarb tastes just as good, and once I add these colors to it, it comes out just great. Then I'm also gonna add some chia seeds. Now I'm gonna have the exact amounts below because I am putting, I am only doing 1/2 of a recipe. So I'm gonna give this a little stir. Make sure I get it all stirred up together. Already that looks really beautiful. I'm just really happy with it. All right, so I'm gonna put this in a container, and I'm gonna stick this in the refrigerator, and then we're gonna come back a little bit later and make it into our special dessert. So our strawberry jello rhubarb mixture has kind of been sitting all day, and oh, it smells very, very good. So I'm gonna take it out and I'm gonna start mixing the other ingredients in it that are gonna turn it into pudding. So I'm gonna start off with some strawberries. Now these strawberries, they usually come in season like in February. So these are some really beautiful ones. Usually in the grocery store, you don't always see real good strawberries, but these are just beautiful. Not only are they big and, delicious looking, I mean, they're very nice. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut some of these greens off, and then I'm gonna just slice up the strawberries, and I'm gonna measure out how much I need, and then I'm gonna rinse them. I'm not gonna do that ahead of time because I'm not quite sure how much I need, and I don't want to get them all wet. They won't last as good in the refrigerator, so this is how I'm gonna do it today. So I'm gonna put in a good healthy couple cups. Remember, I'm cutting this recipe in half. So about half of this container ended up being 2 cups of sliced strawberries, so that worked out good. I'm gonna keep the rest of these for smoothies and a few other really yummy things, but let me rinse these off and then we're gonna blend them up in our food processor. I'm just gonna blend these up and puree them, and then we're gonna add the yogurt to this mixture. To this, I'm gonna add half of my yogurt mixture. And this is just some non-fat Greek yogurt. Now, the recipe did just call for Greek yogurt. It didn't call for non-fat, but I figure what the heck. I'm gonna put that in there. That just makes a beautiful color. So I'm gonna add this to my rhubarb mixture. Just like this. Now what I might do, just because I don't really want huge chunks of this in here, I may just run this all through the food processor real quickly. Let's go ahead and put that through there. So the last thing we're gonna do is we're gonna whip up some vanilla, some heavy whipping cream, and some Monkfruit sweetener. Now it says to put in stevia, but as I said a little earlier, I'm not a big stevia fan, so this is what I'm gonna use. So if you've never made whipped cream, you start off slow and then you start speeding up your mixer. And there you go, we've got whipped cream. So I am just gonna fold this into my strawberry mixture. And that's really all there is to this recipe. It's so simple. Just takes a little time for the Jello and the chia seeds to set up, but once they do, it's wonderful. It kind of reminds me of like a Jello salad, but it's called Jello pudding, and it's a Trim Healthy Mama dessert. It's considered an S meal. Pudding is served. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this in some refrigerated glasses for tonight. And then the rest of it, I'm gonna just leave in a container so we can have that for a couple other nights. Now I'm gonna serve this in some really pretty little glasses here. And then I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna refrigerate these and we'll have these as a dessert later tonight. I actually think what I'm gonna do is just put a couple little strawberries maybe on the middle, and then also on the outside of this dessert. Just think that'll make it extra special. There you go. Isn't that pretty? Well, this is how these beautiful strawberry rhubarb puddings came out. You know, they would just make a wonderful Valentine's dessert. If you were making dinner for Valentine's Day, and it makes a lot. It's we're gonna have a little taste. We're gonna do a little taste test, make sure it's something you wanna serve. So let's give it a little try. Oh my gosh. The strawberries. Oh my gosh, that is so good. I can't wait for dessert tonight. It's gonna be so good. So give this a try. Trim Healthy Mama. Strawberry rhubarb pudding. Top it with some strawberries or some whipped cream would be nice. Oh, that is so good. So thanks for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you're not a subscriber, please subscribe to my video. Give me a like, a thumbs up, or ring the bell for future notifications, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.